Okay, so we are starting out on, I think this is like a 5-day-old wash and go, and this is just hair that I've slept on all night long. You see me taking it right out of the satin scarf, and by this point I'm usually ready to go ahead and puff it up. So the only thing that I use to hold down my puff is an elastic headband, and when I buy them I usually cut them right in half, just because when I buy them they are either too big or too small. So to have full control, I like to go ahead and cut them in half. So what you see me doing here is just misting my hair all over with my leave-in conditioner spray, and I'll link all of the actual products in the description box just in case you're interested. But I'm gonna go ahead and mist that all over. I just like for my hair to be nice and damp before I do any manipulating. This is exactly what you want to do. If you have a water and oil mix, you can use that too, but this is just what I had close by me at the time. But before you do any manipulation to your hair, you most definitely want to make sure that it is damp, because if not, you can cause breakage. So the styler that I'm going to be using today is the LottaBody Edge gel, and I'm just going to take some of that and proceed to place it all around the perimeter of my hair. So when it comes to creating my puff, I usually don't pack the product on. Like, I just use just enough. I don't like the super sculpted and molded down look. I mean, I like it to look chic and I like everything to look really slick, but I don't like for it to just look hard and stiff. So I don't use a lot. I use just enough to get the job done. So from there, I am going to go ahead and start to brush everything up, smoothing everything down. And I will, put the disclaimer out there. Make sure that you're very careful, when you're handling your edges, just because you don't want to break them. They are very delicate, and it's like the most delicate part of our hair. So that besides the ends, but you want to make sure that you're really, really gentle when it comes to brushing and manipulating your edges. So to create my actual puff, I take that band that we cut in half and I kind of put it around the front, and I put it behind my ears. I cross it in the back and I put it back behind my ears, pulling it to the front. And I do it behind my ears because I want to make sure that I'm not snagging any of my hair, and that, everything is actually out of the way. So from here, I start to create my puff. I pull it forward. And this is where you're going to start to kind of slide the band. If you're in the back, you're going to be sliding the band up, and you're going to start to pull. And in the front, you're going to be sliding the band back, and you're going to start to pull. So remember, we cut this in half, so you are in full control of how tight your band is, how tight your puff is. You have all the control, and that is one of the main reasons why I love doing this method, because I have the last say when it comes to how tight my puff is, just because I don't like to use bobby pins. They usually stick me, or something's pulling, or it's not in place exactly how I like. So doing this method is best for me. So I am going to take one of the ends and I'm going to actually tuck it underneath the band. So the band that we wrapped earlier, we're just going to tuck that right underneath there, and it'll be pretty secure. It's not going to go anywhere. We're going to do the same exact thing for the other piece. Now, you can do this as tight or as loosely as you'd like, whatever is comfortable for you. So I usually tuck mine pretty tight, not too tight of course, and I just tuck it right under there. And because my hair is curly, I don't have any problems with it budging or moving. My band is pretty secure. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more of that edge gel, and I'm going to lay down my hair in the front. I'm going to tame the edges and kind of lay it down the way that I like it to. And that's what you see me doing here. And I use a soft brush. If I'm not using my my edge toothbrush, then I use a really soft bristle brush. And you shouldn't have to use a whole lot of product. Like, if a product works for your hair, you do not have to use a lot. It'll just, your hair will just totally comply and lay down. If you're having to use a whole bunch of a product, it's probably not for you. So I'm just going to softly lay everything down, not too much tension. We don't want to put too much tension or be too aggressive, you know, with our edges. Like I mentioned before, they are very delicate, so let's keep that in mind. And I'm just going to do that all around. I'm just going to make sure everything is nice and slick all around. Now, if you want to stop here, you can. I mean, everything is pretty put together. It's pretty much done. But for the last finishing touches, I actually like to set my puff. I like to make sure everything is nice and set. Make sure my edges are laid and everything. So I use, you know, the same satin scarf that we had earlier. And I just wrap it around and tie it to keep it kind of secure. And I usually leave this on for about maybe 5-10 minutes. Just enough time for everything to set. So this is the finished product. This is how my edges look. Everything is so nicely put together. And I go in with my pick just to kind of lift my hair and create some height. Like I mentioned earlier, this is an old wash and go, so it was already pretty poofy. It has a lot of volume to it. I just want to create some height. So the very last thing that I do to put the finishing touches on it, I go in with a little bit of oil. This is coconut oil, but you can use any oil that you have on hand. I go in with just a little bit and I kind of scrunch it into my puff, because, I mean, just because this is an old wash and go doesn't mean that people have to know that. I like everything, you know, it can have some shine and bring some more life to it. This is the finished product, everybody. I hope you like it. Edges on fleek, puff on pow, and yeah, I only use one thing. No headaches, no bobby pins, no anything. Tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.